Right, I'm starting to do a Pelmet ceiling, and I'm using metal stud. Well, this is metal track, 50mm track, because I couldn't get any of the MF6 perimeter channel what I wanted. Now I've got my laser up there, coming down 150mm off the ceiling. Laser goes all the way around the room, and then I'm just screwing my track to the plasterboard wall, which I'm just tossing the screws in at all angles. And it should be an easy fixing for some light plasterboard and some LED strips. And I'll update shortly. Right, just finished putting my 50mm track up as my perimeter for my Pelmet, what I'm building in this small little box room. Very easy to do, take 10 minutes. I've only screwed into plasterboard, and as you can see, I've tossed them in at angles. Obviously, if you're using a block wall, you'd have to maybe drill and plug, but I'd use my nail gun. That's not fixed into any studs. Ignore that plug, it's old metal. It's just, it's absolutely solid. It's only on plasterboard at the end of the day. So it should serve its purpose. And more updates to come. Also, I'd just like to point out that obviously they're using metal stud because, well, metal track this is for the stud partition, but it's way quicker to put up than timber, a lot straighter. And on this, as you can see, I've got an angle, which I want to lose that angle in the Pelmet. So literally just toss some screws in. Quite a few. That's solid. Once I fix my plasterboard to this, when it comes out, it'll be fine. Right now, I need to mark the ceiling, and I'm coming out 150mm, because 150mm works well with plasterboard with an 8x4 sheet. We won't have any wastage, so I'm going 150 down from the ceiling and 150 out from the wall. Now I've put two marks, one mark there and one mark at the other side of the wall. At 150mm, put my laser line down it, and you could go square. I'm just going to come off 150 off all the inside of the ceiling and fix some track to that ceiling. Yeah, that's it basically. Now I've just got a little bit of wall. It's about 1200 wide. Obviously now I'll just put a mark there at 150mm off of the wall, and there 150mm off the wall. Then I will offer a piece of track up like so. Put one on each mark. Make sure I'm on each mark, each end. Then I'll fix that to the ceiling. Like I have here, we'll toss the screws in because I'm only fixing to plasterboard. There's lath and double boarded underneath. There's plenty enough for, just give it a pull, make sure it's strong. Easy enough to hold a bit of 12.5mm plasterboard up. Right, now I've finished putting up the ceiling track at 150 off the wall. Obviously you could do whatever size you want off of the wall. I've got gaps in it because I've used some scrap, and all of that gap's within 300mm for plasterboard fixing, don't really matter. And obviously this side where I have my angle for the roof, I've come 150mm off of this wall. It comes down, I've had to toss them in at an angle. Now doing this in timber would take absolutely ages. I've been on this for about an hour and 20 minutes. I've already got two sections up now. I'm going to put my plasterboard sheet on the face of my ceiling track. I'll let you know while we get on with that. Just keep note that with this track, whilst I'm fixing to plasterboard to make it strong, I put my screws in at angles in the corner on either side. No, absolutely, it's solid. And now I'm putting up the face. There's the ceiling. This is the side. Also, there's the inside. I'm putting the plasterboard on, fixing it to the ceiling track. Now, as you can see, I've cut it at 150, but the original ceiling's not level. So you see the laser line. So I've got to cut down that line, just trim the plasterboard off to the laser line, and then basically that's it. If I was on a job where I could, because I'm paying for this plasterboard myself, I don't really want to waste it. So cut it off. Otherwise, I would have cut it, say 200. And then chopped it back, and it'd be easy to cut the plasterboard back to the level line, which is just there. Also, I'd like to point out that I'm using whisk snips to cut this tin, which is obviously easy to cut, and sawing wood. Just to add to the previous bit, obviously I've cut that now to laser line. You now use a surf form. Just give it a surf. Just take the plasterboard off until I get back to laser line. So any lumps and bumps, surf form, just to get it right. Right, I put all the plasterboard up onto the ceiling track around the room. Now obviously the original ceiling wasn't level, so I've had to mess about and surf back and cut this to level laser line. So all the bottom of that plasterboard now is level with the track on the wall. Now this is just flapping at the minute. There's nothing there, but I'll show you what I'll do with that bit next. Right, now this is the bottom of the, this is the soffit. Now I had a bit of spare timber. Now you can use metal, the same as what I've used on the other sections. But just to show you, obviously to get it square, is obviously that timber sat into that track. Now you'll just notice a gap there, but I know that this plasterboard here is square because it's good edge. Now all I'll do is push that to that, close the gap, and I'll put a screw into there, and then that'll hold that in for square. And I'll do that on every internal corner, which is got a few. And on the external corner, I'll show you what I do with that when I come down to it. But I'll be fixing all timber or metal, all to the inside of this hanging plasterboard at the soffit. Fixing it flush because I already know that this is level, because I surfed it down and cut it to the level line. Obviously this is a little bit odd because I'm recording myself, but obviously this part here was flapping, which is a drop down the fascia of the bulkhead. Obviously this was flapping, but now I'll put a screw into that and screw the face up through the plasterboard. Now that is solid, as you can see. And then all I'll do is fix some stuff to it, which I'll show you later. Oh, I'm still on the soffit. I just wanted to show you what I'll do. Obviously this is just fixed to the side of the plasterboard with the track, and stop it, obviously square it off with a wafer-head screw, which is one of them which screws metal to metal, which is just a little screw like that, wave head screw. And also on the other side you'll see that I fixed that metal to the opposite metal that's going that way. Now to fix that, obviously the flange which is this bit, I've had to cut off to make a flat bit like that. Hold on 1 second. So it'll look like that, and then that bit screws onto there. Just they're nice and easy, no messing around, no cutting loads and loads of timber. Nice and simple, no overkill. Right, now I've finished framing the soffit with the track. Also just fix it to the plasterboard, so all the way around. So there, that's the corner, so it's nice and square. Ignore that lampshade that's coming down. That's where I use, you can use a bit of timber in this part of no problem. You'll see, just put a screw in to the track into that and makes that square on the internal corner. But I'd say using metal for this is way easier and faster. I've been doing this for about 2.5 hours. I'm at that stage already. And I'll just post the next stage, record the next stage soon. Right, and the next stage to do this bulkhead pelmet for LED lighting is filling. And I've scrimmed the internal corners, and I've got one external corner on this, and I've only cut a little bit of bead stuck it on with a bit of adhesive, which I'm filling with as well. All I'm going to do is go around, fill in all the screw holes, not the bottom screw holes because that's going to get covered at a later stage, so don't bother doing them. Fill in these ones. Obviously the video ain't great because I'm doing it on my own, trying to show you what to do. And also I'll fill in this top line as well in scrim, which is the top mark. You don't want none of these gaps in it because this will get seen. This down here is not going to get seen, so don't bother with any of that. It's just the top bit, and obviously then it's down the corner. But I've not took that bead all the way down, and I'll show you why later on. Tip and all when you're doing plasterboarding is always make sure you sink your screws. As I've just went to tape over it, and it won't tape over because the screws hanging out. So I have to get the screw gun and make sure that screws penetrates the plasterboard, so it's below the face, so I can cover it with filler.